Oh, what do you think? Think I can squeeze by another year till I repaint it? Probably not. But if I do, maybe artificial intelligence will be able to do it for me. But between now and then, those of you that know me know that I've been a financial advisor for 20 years. And today's video is about how good of a financial advisor is artificial intelligence. Let's go for a walk and talk about this. You know, I asked artificial intelligence, I asked ChatGPT, several important financial advising questions. And I gotta say, you know, it wasn't bad. Let me give you some of the highlights. But before we go there, I want to share, you know, this is really, I think, a very disruptive technology. You know, when I was in business school, the internet was just starting to take off, just as I was graduating. And several of my classmates in a year, 2, 3 years were able to build and sell their companies for millions of dollars. It was a transformative time. Every business was being reshaped by the internet. In fact, one of my classmates in less than 5 years sold his internet company for over $1 billion. It's a household name that we've all used and we all know. So that was a transformative technology. And I think artificial intelligence is going to be every bit as powerful, probably more powerful than the internet, right? It's going to help companies do things better, faster, cheaper, right? It's going to, I think, be an enabler for our technologies. I think it's going to enable me to do more in less time and to get rid of some of the mundane stuff. But do I need to worry about losing my job? Maybe. Let me share some things. But before I get into some of the questions that I asked artificial intelligence and share with you my thoughts on ChatGPT's answer, I've got a favor to ask. If you enjoy my videos, if you're enjoying this video, give me a quick thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. As the kids say, thumbs for likes and subs for love and comments for Azul. I love reading your comments. Okay, so the first question I asked was, what's the difference between a Roth IRA, a Roth 401k, and a regular IRA and a regular 401k? And you know what? It gave me a really good answer. Gave me a lot of useful information. It was very helpful. The next question I asked is, you know, what's a typical asset allocation for a 60-year-old? Again, it gave me a pretty good answer. You know, for a lot of 60-year-olds, not everybody, this is not financial advice. I don't know your situation. The goal of this is just to give you some things to think about. And I do think, you know, if you're using online calculators, if you're using online tools to look at your own finances and to kind of do it yourself, I do think that you should incorporate artificial intelligence tools. Right now, one of the most popular ones is ChatGPT. And I think it's useful. Like I said, the difference between a Roth and a regular IRA, good answers. I also asked it about this is a little more detailed question, rolling an IRA from one custodian to the next. You know, you want to be careful with that. I usually tell people you want to do what's called the custodian to custodian transfer. You don't want to get the check yourself, because if you get the check yourself, there's a limited time period that the IRS gives you to get it redeposited. And if you miss that, the IRS is going to say, gee, this was really a distribution. And if it's a taxable IRA, it's going to be taxable. And it's hard to undo that. And you know, good for ChatGPT. It caught that. It did explain that. Okay. I also asked it this was interesting. I asked it a question. This was actually a question that a friend of mine asked me. His son was graduating college. His son had a good job, 22 years old, and the kid wanted to buy an expensive sports car. And his car payment was going to be over $1,000 a month. And so my friend called me up and said, hey, Azul, can you run me the numbers? I want to explain to my son why he doesn't want to have a car payment that big. What's the value of an extra $500 a month if instead of buying this expensive car, he bought a used car? Let's say he saved $500 a month, and he did that over 40 years, right? That car is not going to last 40 years. So if he's got this car payment, then there'll be another and another, etc. And ran the math for his son. And it came out to be quite a substantial number. It turns out, actually, I didn't write it down here, but it was millions of dollars. And interestingly, ChatGPT got the formula right, but the final answer was wrong. So you do want to be careful. It's not perfect yet. I asked another question. It kind of goes along with some of my other videos. The question I asked was more of an open-ended question. I said, hey, ChatGPT, I'm 50 years old. I've got $1 million. Do I have enough money to retire? And basically it said, hey, that's outside of the scope of my skills, which I was glad to see it do. And it shared some useful information, but it did not try to answer that. And I think that's wise. I do not think that you want artificial intelligence answering a question like that. But it did say at the end, it said the last item was consult with a financial advisor for questions like that. So what's my bottom line on artificial intelligence? I think it's a good tool. I think it's obviously here to stay. I think it's going to get better and better. I think if you're using online calculators yourself, if you're buying $100 programs on financial advising, kind of made for the retail consumer, trying to answer these questions themselves, you know, there's always been a lot of these tools online now. I would argue the value is not with the tool. The value is with the wisdom that comes, like in my case, having helped people for over 20 years as a fee-only financial advisor. The value for my clients comes not from the tool that I'm using, because the tool is pervasive. It's everywhere. And frankly, the tools are available for very little cost. But what you're really looking for is somebody that's gone on the journey with hundreds of other families, have seen what's worked, have seen what hasn't worked, and can kind of guide you towards the decision that's right for you and your family, and can customize things for yourself, because we're all different, and you want to make sure that the plan reflects who you are, right? If you're 50 years old and you have $1 million, you know, there's a big difference between families in that situation. And in one situation, you know, maybe somebody should stay 100% invested in equities. And in another situation, you know, maybe they should be super conservative depending on who they are. And you want a tool that understands the difference. And right now that tool is educated fee-only financial advisors. I keep saying fee-only because fee-only financial advisors have a fiduciary obligation to put your interests ahead of their own. You don't have to worry that they're going to try to sell you something. There is a dichotomy of information and knowledge, and so you want to make sure that the smart person sitting on the other side of the table from you, that's been doing this for their career, that they're using that knowledge and wisdom to benefit you as opposed to benefiting their company. Again, one of the questions I asked I'm going to share with you one of the questions, a really enlightening question, which is I asked ChatGPT, sorry, I have a hard time saying that, you know, what is a fee-only advisor? And it gave me a great answer, and unprompted, it mentioned what the advantages of a fee-only financial advisor is. And I didn't ask it for this. It said, you know, fee-only financial advisors, because they're fiduciaries, and they get paid directly by their clients, those advisors, they're objective, they offer transparency, they often offer comprehensive financial planning as opposed to just answering, hey, what's the answer to this question? And they're also fiduciaries to you. So in my book, ChatGPT gets an A for that answer. If you enjoyed today's video, I know you're going to like this video up here that talks about the average income for retirees, and this video down here that talks about 5 reasons to retire as soon as you can. I hope you enjoy them. Bye-bye.